And 3, 2, 1. Hello there, young Padawans. This is Teach Together Try with Mr. Burns. And here we are, we're looking at equivalent, that means the same value, fractions. So fractions that are equivalent are fractions that have the same value. Alright, let's go on. Here we are, here's a little test for you to see if you really need to watch this video or you can just go on to the activity. Are they equivalent? You tell me, is 5 6 equal to 10 twelfths? Is a half equal to 5 tenths? Is 3/4 the same as 3/8? Either they're equivalent or not. You can write down yes or no. Work it out. Are they equivalent or not? Okay, pause me and work it out for yourself. Okay, I hope you pause me because here's the answer. 5 6 and 10 twelfths, yeah, they're the same. They're equivalent. 1/2 and 5 tenths, they're the same. Yep. 3/4 and 3/8, no, they're not. If you got all three right, you can go to the activity. If you got all three right, you can go to the activity. But if you didn't, you are watching on as we learn about equivalent fractions. Oh. Okay, let's have a look at this. 5 6 equals 10 twelfths. Well, does it? Look, I've got this pi over here and that's divided into sixths. I've got this pi over here and it's divided into twelfths. Let's see, I'm just going to eat 5 6 of that. 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, 5 6. Okay. Also, I'm going to have 10 twelfths of this pi. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go, done. You can see actually with your eyes that equals the same amount, doesn't it? You can see with your eyes that equals the same amount. But you know what, guys? It's not always good enough to draw the pi. Sometimes it's hard. Okay? I know you can see with your eyes that yes, the blue bit over here is equal to the blue bit over there. Okay, so sure, 5 6 equals 10 twelfths. But sometimes you can't always draw it. So there is a bit of a trick. I'm going to show you the trick. I wonder if you can see a relationship between these two numbers here and these two numbers there. I wonder if you can see a relationship between the 5 and the 10 that is also there between the 6 and the 12. Can you see it? There is something that has been done to the 5 to make it 10, that if you do to the 6, it will make the 6 a 12. Can you see it? I'll tell you. The 5 has been times by 2 to equal 10, and the 6 has been times by 2 to equal 12. It's the same value fraction. It's the same amount of pizza, right? It's the same amount of pi. 5 6 equals 10 twelfths. It's just representing the fraction a different way. It's just representing the fraction a different way. It's important to remember 5 6 equals 10 twelfths. But when we say 10 twelfths in 5 6, when we say 10 twelfths instead of 5 sixths, when we say 10 twelfths instead of 5 sixths, we're just giving the information in a different way. Maybe we've cut the pizza up into 12 parts instead of 6 parts. Let's have a look at another one. Okay, 1/2 equals 5 tenths. Okay, well look, here's my 2 pi's. I'm just going to divide that. Oh, whoops-a-daisy. Sorry. Just divide that in half. Divide this one into tenths. Right, so this is always a bit tricky. They're pretty good tenths, Mr. Burns. Okay, let's colour in a half of this. Yep. And let's colour in 5 tenths of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You can see just with your eyeballs that 1/2 is equal to 5 tenths. They're equivalent. They're equivalent. Equivalent. Right? But in case you can't draw it out, well, can you see a pattern that exists between those numbers? I wonder if you can see that if you times 1 by 5, it becomes 5. And if you times 2 by 5, it becomes 10. Or, just for laughs, but this is also true, if you divide 5 by 5, you get 1. If you divide 10 by 5, you get 2. Look, another way of saying this is what has been done to the top number has been done to the bottom also, right? So 5 has been divided by 5 to get 1. 10 has been divided by 5 to get 2. Or 1 has been times by 5 to get 5. 2 has been times by 5 to get 10. Let's get away from the picture and see if just doing it with some just some fractions without pictures helps. Right, is 3/4 the same as 9/12? Well, let's see. I mean, what do you do to 3 to get 9? What have you got to times by 3 to get 9? You've got to times 3 by 3, don't you? 3 times 3 equals 9, doesn't it? Okay, so whatever you've done to the top, you've got to do to the bottom as well. Okay, so 3 times 4, right, so 4 times 3 equals 12. Right, that is actually an equivalent fraction. 3/4 equals 9/12. Right, and there you can see it's the same amount of pizza, isn't it? 3/4 is just the same as 9/12. You might be thinking, oh, why do we even have like different ways of explaining the same amount? Like, well, why don't we just have 3/4 is always 3/4 and we don't say 9/12 instead of 3/4? Well, guys, sometimes we chop things up into 4 pieces. Sometimes we chop them up into 12 pieces. We have to have different ways of explaining fractions. We have to have different ways of explaining parts of wholes, right? Let's have a look at one that's wrong. Sometimes that's helpful. Look, 2 over 5, so 2/5 equals 7 over 10. Okay? Right. So there's got to be the same relationship between the top and the bottom. Okay? So 2, well, I can't even times 2 to get 7. How about 5 times 2 equals 10? Yeah, that works. Okay, 2 times 2 equals... Well, it doesn't equal 7, does it? That's wrong. That is not equivalent. Right? That is not equivalent. What about this one? Okay, let's see if we can see the relationship there. What do I times by 5 to get to 10? Right, it's times by 2, yep. And so whatever you do to the bottom, you've got to do to the top. So 2 times 2, that equals 4. That is equivalent. Thank you. Great. Equivalent. Let's have a go with you. I think it's time for you to have a bit of a go. But just before we do that, one thing that's probably worth doing, you can just keep on making equivalent fractions forever. So like a half equals, well, let's just times a half times 2 equals 2 over 4. You can times the 2 by 3, and you've got to times the 4 by 3 as well. Equals 6 over 12. You can times the 6 by 5 if you want. So you've got to do the bottom by 5. 12 times 5 equals 30 over, what's 12 times 5? 60. You can keep going on forever. They are all equivalent. They all basically just equal 1/2. I hope that's made some sense to you. Are these equivalent? Let's do them together. Find out if they're equivalent or not. Okay? You might have to pause me and have a go, but 5/10, does that equal 10 over 20? Well, what do you times by 5 to get 10? Is it the same thing you times by 10 to get 20? I mean, that's the question. Work it out. Pause me and have a go. Right, I hope you went 5 times 2 is 10 and 10 times 2 is 20. Yes, that is definitely equivalent. What about this one? 3/8 and 6/10. Right, well, what do you times by 3 to get to 6 and what do you times by 8 to get to 10? Is it the same number? Right, pause me and have a go. Right, well, 3, I hope you pause me. 3 times 2 equals 6. Yeah, great. 8 times 2 equals, well, it actually equals 16. Doesn't equal 10. So, no, that is not equivalent. No, not equivalent. What about the last one, C? What do you times by 4 to get to 8? Is it the same thing you times 20 by to get to 40? Well, pause me, have a go. Alright, 4, I hope I'm back. 4 times 2 equals 8. 20 times 2 equals 40. Right, so that one is equivalent. Hooray! I hope that's been some help. You're going to have a go at 3 all by yourself. A, B, C. You're up to, we're going to do D, E, and F. All by yourself. Okay, I'm just having a break here in the video, just in case I need to pause here, because I might need to upload this in two bits. Okay. Alright, here, and we're back. I want you to pause me and have a go at these all by yourself. Are they equivalent or not? True or false? Right? Pause me and have a go. Alright, I hope you're back. I hope you went right. 6 divided by, I don't even know where to start there. 5 times what equals... I can't make this talk to each other at all. 6 times or divide nothing equals 5. Like, that is not equivalent. 12 divided by... I can't make that equivalent. No. False. That is not equivalent. This is a much better one. 3 times 5 equals 15 and 4 times 5 equals 20. Yes. Equivalent. True. Right? Down the bottom here. Oh, can I get 3 to 1 by division? Can I get 9 to 3 by division? 3 divided by 3 equals 1. 9 divided by 3 equals 3. Yes, that is equivalent. True. Alright guys, there are other videos. You might want to watch them. They might help you more because equivalent fractions is pretty tricky. Okay, if you haven't understood this, watch those other videos on the site. Elsewise, come and see me. Thanks, team.